3, 2, 1, Smurf.
Here we go.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Mega Man.
Alright, so this is Mega Man Legends. This game's a 3D action platformer and a Mega Man game at the same time. It likes to think it's Ocarina of Time a lot. And I'm gonna get all the items, and do all the side quests, and fight all the bosses, and do all the stuff.
Turn right there.
In order to do that, you gotta play on easy mode, which is kinda lame, because one of the items is only available starting the game on easy. No other difficulty can get it, and that's kinda weak. But it also makes the game really fast, so that's cool. It's only about 20 minutes longer than any percent, and you do a lot of side quests, so that item saves a shitload of time. What am I doing? So this tutorial area, we're just gonna kind of roll through and get out as fast as possible. Like, being out here within a minute and 30 seconds or so is pretty good. Mash cutscenes. And now we crash land on this island that's inhabited, apparently by police. Skip more cutscenes and we're gonna go try and find some parts for our airship. And the first place you go is obviously the used junk store. Gotta check out all these little snake dudes. This guy won't talk to you. And then we gotta go pick up our first optional part. This is the Rapid Striker. Oops. If you play that part really clean, you can clip through those guys. I generally just go for it, even if I don't feel like it was a clean room. Should be able to get it on the way back out, though. Yeah, easy. So for bringing him back, they give us their old car and some parts for explosives, which definitely don't help us rebuild our airship. And now we have ID cards that let us go all the way into the city. We are going to try to find our grandfather, who went to go meet the mayor. Also not going to try to get hit by cars. Grab this broken motor here. That's for a special weapon we'll be making later. Run into City Hall, skip some more cutscenes. Talk to this girl who's being growled at by a dog. Talk to the dog and watch one of the only cutscenes you can't skip.
Cut it out! Don't you know you can't treat girls that way? Hey, hold on. Down, boy. Down.
The Japanese version does get to skip that. You do it in a pretty rude way by punting the dog halfway down the street. Can't imagine why it was removed from NA. So now we find out pirates are going to attack the island. And they locked City Hall. So we got our first mini-boss fight here. The red guy always starts with the key and tosses it to the blue guy. So if you know that, you can just kind of blow the blue guy up, skip the whole fight. That's not good. Next is Feldinot. Like 80% of the time, you can stun lock this boss right away. But sometimes she immediately starts with a rolling animation, and you can't stun lock her. But whatever. Still a quick fight. Probably cost like 10 seconds or something. And now City Hall's under attack by robots. Just gotta blow all these up. There's a bunch of little ground tanks that punch stuff, and 3 flying robots. The 2 flying robots, the red and blue one, are guaranteed to spawn there. About 50% of the time, the yellow guy is right behind them. If you don't blow those guys up, they bring in more of these punch robots as you blow them up. So, good RNG there. That saves a good bit of time. If that yellow guy's not right there, he can be pretty out of the way. Since we have some time here for the next cutscene, shoot that. Doesn't actually do anything other than make our armor darker. Next boss, Bon Bon, we can just kind of, again, stun lock. And if I quit mashing start early, we'll be good. More cutscene skips. And we're off to the Yas Plains to stop the last of the pirates from digging up some ruins up here. The lore is that the mayor won't give them the key to get into these ruins, so he's just gonna dig all the way to the bottom of them. And, he's got a good head start on us. Shoutouts to Data over here. Data Faces. This is the game Data is from, if you're a big fan of Data Face. So this is the Moral Wolf. This robot's quite a bit bigger than the other ones. But, a good angle. You can kill him in one cycle here.
What are you standing around?
Every additional cycle is like 10 seconds, so getting that first cycle kill here is really cool.
The automated fire extinguishers aren't working.
When he deploys bats like that, Mega Man's auto aim can throw off your shots and prevent a good one cycle. And then you can't skip all that dialogue, but can skip most of that cutscene.
Rod.
Now we go back to City Hall, and we now get permission to dig in all the ruins around the island. Not only to find parts for our ship, but also to try to solve the mystery of why these pirates attacked. Roll also finished the car and gives us a walkie-talkie, which is our first special item. We'll get a lot of use out of that thing. Trust me. So we're gonna go down to Carden Forest, which is where we crash landed. We're gonna do the biggest glitch in this game here. Just a second. We have to trigger this conversation with this lady. Then we go over to this conveniently placed small thing of ruins. And don't blink. You just kind of clip through the wall. And enter the Carden Ruins. That saves like 2.5 to 3 minutes. Instead of having to do this long sequence where you have to shoot a bunch of tanks and Roll drives the support car around and then crashes it into a fence. So now we gotta get 3 keys to lower the shield there. Do our first strafe jump of the run there. If you're running and strafing left or right, you can jump farther than a regular straightforward jump. We don't use too many in the run, but that one saves a good bit of time.
I wasn't used to being a spotter, and you ended up getting lost underground for 3 days.
So this section is a little bit of an auto-scroller. We have to wait for that rusted chest to get all the way down to the compactor at the bottom. So we're going to grab the old doll, which is our first item for the museum side quest, and the grenade kit, which is another special weapon part. Grab this health that dropped, because, again, we have nothing better to do.
There's something there. It looks like some kind of compactor or something.
Wait for a moment.
Did you find anything?
So that's the first of the 3 keys.
Signal. That must be the starter key. Keep looking. There's probably a few more lying around somewhere.
Here we'll grab the spring set, which is for another special item.
Doesn't look like there are any big...
The jump springs, particularly. And the old bone, which is another museum quest item. They're just gotta get 2 more keys in here and then we're out.
It's another energy barrier. I'm
We might still make
getting the
this.
same kind of readings as before. Do you see a switch
I let go of my
anywhere
skates
nearby?
early.
Did you find another starter? That's 2.
So it's 2 keys. Jump down here.
That's
Grab the
it.
3rd one.
Now you should be able to access the console.
Another strafe jump to make that. We're almost out of this place. Just got one more annoying trick to do. So by standing up on this switch to the elevator, you can make the jump over to that ledge. It's kind of finicky, because you don't have a lot of room to start moving. There it is. And that puts us back in the ruins that we clipped into the wall from. And we're going to clip right through that same wall and go somewhere else now. This looks good. Nice. Generator part, which I believe is for the machine gun part. And we're now in the depths of the final dungeon, believe it or not. We're only coming here for a moment, though. We can't actually access any of the important stuff. But this blunted drill right here is going to do a lot of work for us. The auto fire barrel, which is the second part for Machine Buster, as I recall. And this shiny red stone, which is another item for the museum quest. Do some item development to turn some stuff into useful items. We also equipped the drill arm and went over to City Hall. We're going to pick up a bunch of side quests. These guys want to build this into a cool clubhouse. And their progress on that is based on the number of screen transitions you make. So we are going to start that right away. And that's just kind of naturally routed in, so... We're gonna give the cops a little help. Apparently some kid dropped some stuff downtown and said everybody better run away. And there are bombs. There's two more we gotta find. One is always on a green roof. And the other one is next to a green wall. You wait too long, these explode, and they are missable items. So that actually kills your run. Good pattern, though. Now we got a few minutes of downtime. While I play some mini games for some stuff to build weapons out of. Yeah, thank you for the RPG, yeah. This game, you have to wait the entire 30 seconds, regardless of how quickly you hit the score, so... You got a few seconds of downtime on each round. So the objective here is to hit the dog with, like, these balls, and these dogs that come up every few balls you kick. The flashing dog is worth an extra point. And you see me kicking balls with no ability to hit anything. I'm just trying to cycle through to the small dog again. It's worth more points. It's weird that they remove one instance of kicking dogs from this game and there are still 2 other ones that are still in it. Kinda inconsistent, but whatever. Either way, like, the one dog that you're kicking the balls at is clearly animatronic. I mean, it's got a metal pole sticking out of its stomach.
Thank you for following. You are now officially Rollin.
Yo, what's going on, Adfelly?
My son with the RP motherfucking G.
Alright, one more. So the first 3 rounds just give us money. That, I mean, it helps the routing, but it's not enough money to really change anything. The last round here gets us the Zet Saber, which is used to make the Blade Arm special weapon. Yo, what's going on, Sam? So we're done with that minigame. Your shoutouts to Money for sure. Money's a big pog. And next is Balloon Fantasy. The goal here is to pop all the red balloons before the time runs out. You hit the blue balloons, you lose a second on your timer. It's laughably easy with the Buster Max, so there's not really a lot of strategy that goes into this. Thankfully, this game isn't, like, on a timer that you have to wait the whole way for, so it goes pretty quick. Is that the new Electrode design? Dude, don't question Game Freak's logic, alright? They know what the fans want. Curry and rice, dude. The 4th round here gives us the Mystic Orb, which is the first part for the shield arm. So we're done with those minigames. Now we get to play the worst one, which is this guy. He wants to know if we want to try out some races through the city streets. I really wish we didn't have to do this. So again, we gotta do four laps of each course. There's 3 courses. And There is nothing fun or interesting about this part. Clipping the yellow cones pauses the timer for 1 second. Doesn't Battle Stations have a spiraling sphere, Sam? Definitely not copyrighted. The last lap on the straight course will give us the Omni unit, which is a buster part. It's actually pretty good, like casually, if you get it as soon as possible. No, this one gives the Mystic Box, which is an item for roll. Left curve gives the Omni unit. I'm bad. The amount of time you have to do each course goes down as you go through the ranks, so you have to play a little tighter. The timing on the left curve course is actually so flawless that if you play like the tasks, you still absolutely have to pause the timer at least once on rank A. We're gonna have to redo this race. Redoing the left curve course isn't too bad, it's pretty short. Yeah, this game is really good. If that's the only thing I screw up in this run, I'll take it. Technical course. This one sucks. I'd probably lose more runs to this than anything else in the game. $14.26 is really good. High 13s are when I know I'm playing well. Only one more of these god-awful minigames. Then we get to play the game for the rest of the timer. This lap will give us the Great Horn, which is another one of the museum minigame, or museum items, rather. Out of here before 30 minutes is always good. So this is a decent pace. Hello? Call the support car from in here and leave immediately. That was a relatively recent time save found. So we're going to talk to this lady. We're gonna tell her that her painting needs red, not talent. If you say talent, dialogue just loops. And you're mean. Don't be mean. We're gonna go downtown. And swing by the women's clothing store. Yep. We'll pick up this lipstick, which the painter is going to use as paint later on. And we've now done enough screen transitions to advance the house building side quest. To this day, I'm still not sure how they did all this with just a pickaxe. Especially the steel door. And this guy threw his saw into a trash can, which I'm sure is really smart. We're also going to grab the Bloom Bear parts from that first mini-boss that we blew up while we're here. This game has a lot of stuff in it. I really recommend playing the PlayStation version over the N64 version. The audio's a lot better, the draw distance is better, everything's better. It's just slower. By a lot. Load times are pretty substantial. You get the same IGT, but imagine timing by IGT. And now we are all done with side quests for quite a while, actually. Swag turn, please. This game does that as well, actually. The first Xenoblade is really good. I haven't played any of XBC2. I did not like Xenoblade X. Not in the least. Yeah, the PlayStation version's a lot better.
I knew it. They're here. Their robots are here.
So now we're at the water battle.
Mission start.
And this part's an auto-scroller. This is arguably the hardest part of the run in Hundo, actually. If you're going for a good run. Because there is a pretty inconsistent zero cycle strat for the boss. We'll go for it, but I'd rather lose 26 seconds than reset. So we're not resetting in a marathon. Forehead.
Mega Man, ahead!
It is possible to die at this part if you just straight up AFK. I tried that a couple times. It's not safe. We bought the first Xenoblade in 2018. Yeah, it's aged really well. I'm actually really excited for the Switch port. I'm planning on picking up Xenoblade 2 eventually. I just have a pretty long backlog. Speedrunning takes up a lot of time.
There's a lot of little signals coming from around the ship. They're above us. Mega Man behind us.
Yeah, those games are really, really good. Like, Xenoblade 1 is one of the better RPGs I've played in a long time.
Mega Man ahead.
If I didn't already run 5 different RPGs that are over 7 hours, I would, well, okay, one is 6, one is 4. The other ones are 9, 10, and 10. Almost 11.
That's it, Mega Man. Keep it up.
I would, probably win the Xenoblade run.
Mega Man behind us.
Torna's the DLC for Xenoblade 2, right?
It looks like we got rid of all their little ships. Wait! I can see it on the sonar.
Sure.
Heads up, Mega Man. Something big coming this way.
Shut. Alright. So, this is Balkan Garot. The first part of this fight, you can't do anything. He just sits and shoots missiles at you.
We're outgunned. We can't fight them head to head like this. We need a different strategy. Okay, Mega Man, hold on.
And then it's an auto-scroller for a little while longer. And we kill this guy. Then we have no proper auto-scrollers left in the whole game. Finally.
What's the matter? If you don't want
you can save a cycle on this guy if you destroy all 4 of his destructible parts before his right arm fires his second shot. It is really, really finicky. Pretty hard to practice as well. There's no good visual cues. This might get it though. I might have got it. Ah, lame. We were probably half a second off. So if we got the skip, the battery on the back would have already spawned.
Now he's left to mess with the pawn.
But this skip right here is the reason that this part of 100% is hands down the worst. Easy fight.
Mission complete!
And now we enter the Lake Jun subgate. Got a couple things to do here. It's very similar to the Cardin subgate. We gotta get 3 keys, and we have some items to grab in here. This first room I don't skate in because a lot of these small robots come around corners. It's kind of hard to control Mega Man through it. So our first key is right here.
What did you find? From these readings, it looks like it's...
We gotta grab this Gatling part here. Grab this ring. This is for roll. This is the second item for roll. We already have the music box from the race.
Mega Man, what can you see up there? I'm not picking up anything on my mom.
Second starter key. And third starter key. And last thing is the casual player's dream. Joint plug, which lets you equip 3 buster parts after you do item development on it. So there was recently a skip discovered for this boss. Jury's still out if it's allowed in Hundo. I think it will wind up being allowed. It doesn't save a whole ton of time though, it's like 10 seconds. Still, any percent's changed because of it. It does wind up getting allowed in Hundo, I guess I'll have to learn it, but... Anyway, this is Garuda Raiten. He sucks. He's a giant walking tin can.
It looks like you damaged it.
You just gotta kind of jump and shoot. Literally jump and shoot, man, dude. It's the most Mega Man thing possible.
I'm not picking up any Reaverbot signals anywhere. It looks like...
44 is still okay pace. So now this is where we differentiate from the casual route. Because we did that skip earlier and got the drill arm, we're gonna leave through the bottom exit of Lake Jun subgate. We're gonna grab the main core shard, which is used for the Omni Unit Omega. The blade arm, or the pen light rather, which is used for the blade arm. And the old launcher, which is used for the spread buster. You definitely should not have the drill arm at this point. This is a pretty big sequence break. So it's pretty cool. It also winds up skipping a cutscene, some other stuff. I'm gonna grab the shiny object here, which is for the museum. As well as the old shield over here, which is also for the museum. Yep. The Buster unit, which is the first Buster part we've grabbed in a long time. Actually, that's not true. We just grabbed the, is it Rapid Striker? Rapid Striker or Range Booster when we went into Lower Gen, I suppose. Forget about that thing. Yeah, anyway. We're gonna use that red refractor to get our airship back up in the air. Talk to our Gramps about the main gate. We're gonna go into his room and grab the bomb schematic. Not really sure why our grandfather has schematics to make bombs, but hey man. Don't judge. And then, we're gonna fly to the closer subgate, which is the one that the pirates were trying to dig out about 40 minutes ago. So this place kind of sucks. The enemies here are not nice.
Can you see a door?
If we get lucky, it's pretty clean, but we enter this room, hit some story triggers. Run over here. We got the tele lens, which is for the sniper scope. Try not to get hit by that guy. Fail miserably. I even tried to snipe him through the door and failed. Now in here, unlike the last two gates, we need ID cards, not starter keys. The guidance unit is the only part for the active buster, which is considered to be one of the strongest weapons in the game. Grab this antique bell for the museum. Grab our first ID card over here.
Did you find something, Mega Man?
I think I found an ID card.
Good going.
I'll go back to that control room.
Target sensor, also for the sniper scope. The movement in here is actually really cool looking when it's done well. Let's do a lot of the stuff essentially blind. Grab our second ID card. And right now the power is out in this whole ruin. So So we're just going to kind of turn on the generator, which is conveniently accessible. And then we're going to leave. In order to advance this dungeon, we need to bring a different special weapon. But we kept the drill arm on for a reason. We're actually going to get all of the other drill arm items right now. Which, if you've played this game, there's a lot of drill arm items. It just happens they're all in the same spot. So the ancient book here is for the spread buster. Well, all of them but one are in the same spot, and the one that's in a different spot, you don't need the drill arm to get to. There's an alternate route, and we used a wall clip to get to that alternate route. That barrel we got is for the machine gun. The weapon plans are for the shining laser. The blaster unit R is a buster part. Cannon kit is the powered buster special weapon. Somebody who's played this game casually might know where we are on the map. What am I doing? This is probably the most well-hidden buster part in the game. This is the triple access. It's not good. It's just in a really awkward spot.
Thank you for following. You are now officially rolling deep, my son, with the RP motherfucking G.
Now we're gonna roll out of the ruins here. And we are all the way over in the Yas Plains. Which makes sense, considering we're actually really close to the closer subgate. It's literally one screen away. But all those screen transitions we've done, since the last time we checked up on our friends here, let them finish up their house. So we're going to stop in here, which will trigger their next part of their side quest, which wants us to pick up rare items for them. And we'll do that over the rest of the run. There's no more screen transition nonsense that we have to route in. Now we're gonna run over to the police station again. We're gonna tell the inspector about the bombs. Then we actually have to leave the room and re-enter to advance him. Oh, whoops. So a guy lost his bag of money that he was going to use to build his house. So we're going to pick up that quest, then we're going to do some item development. And this item development is going to let us build the Grand Grenade out of that bomb schematic, which we will use when we go back to the dungeon. We're gonna do one more item development near the end of the run. Special weapons. Down twice. No. Guess it's down 4 times. There we go. It's up twice. I remember. Anyway, we now have the Grand Grenade equipped, which can shoot, blow up walls. The Powered Buster can do it too, but the Powered Buster is a little bit more awkward for what we're going to use it for. And we won't change our special weapon again for the rest of the game. We're going to use the Grand Grenade exactly 1 time. So, we're all done with special weapons, essentially. A lot more of them to make, though. I'm going to quickly pick up this flower, which is Roll's last item. We're also going to pick up this beetle. That is the first of the items for the boys' collection. If we do this right, this will be really easy. If we don't, it'll suck. Good. Nice. If you don't do that quickly enough, Mega Man will lock onto one of the enemies, and then he won't throw the Grand Grenade straight, so he doesn't wind up blowing up the ceiling. It's pretty irritating. Because those guys, even with the Powered Buster, take a lot of shots, or the Buster Max, take a lot of shots to kill.
We go around doing digs all over the place, but is it right? It's almost like stealing.
So here we have another boss fight. This is against the 3 Karuruma Bash. We're going to introduce them to running around in circles and holding B. It's extremely effective against bosses in this game.
I'm not picking up any more Reavabot signals. I think it's safe.
Pro tip, don't hold skate as you leave that door. It's a good way to lose time. There's our 3rd ID card. Now we just gotta leave. Wow. That was not very nice of that guy. Just for safety, I'm going to take a heal and a save quick. Neither should be relevant, but figure if I'm healing, I'm going to save too. So now we're going to fly back to the Cardin Forest, and this will trigger the Sky Battle against the pirates. The first half of this is free. The second half is pretty free, but it could go wrong. So I'm going to hedge my bets. Still pretty quick.
Okay, Mega Man, now it's our turn. Take out their weak points.
So we blow
one
up
by
5
one.
drakes, and
There you
then
go. There's a fire in
take out all the
zone
weak
two.
spots on the
I'm
Gessel
clearing
shaft,
it out.
which are
Gunners, what do you think you're doing?
not exactly.
Knock them out of the sky! Another hit? What kind of firepower are they packing on that little ship?
What? They're still flying? It must be someplace we haven't hit yet. Where could it be? Mission complete!
And blowing that up makes the pirates pull out their next strongest robot, the Fokker Wolf, which we proceeded to perfectly kill. That's actually kind of hard. Save a dialogue box or two by leaving now and calling roll instead of doing anything else to get her here. I'm gonna run over to this cat, which is a side quest. We're going to take this kitty cat home. If you like cats, it's a reason to like this speedrun. And now we've entered the final dungeon
Mega
through
Man,
its correct
be
entrance.
careful. I don't like the looks of this
We're not
place.
gonna spend very long here, though. At least not right now.
It's a spiral. And it goes down a long way, too.
We have the Buster Unit Omega, which is a Buster part.
I'm starting to do a lot of stuff.
Hit some story triggers. And fight their final robot, Bruno. This fight is, it's not easy. It can go pretty wrong. Mega Man's auto-aim does not like to cooperate. Thank you for the @DemonSmallz, Frank. Really helps stream out. Once you get out of range, Mega Man likes to just randomly lock on to different parts of Bruno's body. So you have to kind of play this fight a specific way. And he's dead. And now absolutely nothing can go wrong for the rest of the run. As long as we don't soft lock here, which is possible. Had it happen twice. So it doesn't happen now. We didn't soft lock. Perfect. Look at all these cats that are now around our ship. So now we're going to open up the most well-hidden side quest in the game. Armed robbers have stormed the bank and made off with a large sum of money. You can't actually use the support car after you trigger this event. You actually have to go do it on foot. Fun fact.
Help! 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 He's gonna get us!
Should be perfect. Beautiful. We're gonna grab the trunk of cash. We're gonna leave with it. This quest has two endings. If we give the trunk to the inspector, the serve bots open a burger joint. If we don't, we get 200,000 zenny. We want that money. That is about 2/3 of the money we need for the run. So we grab the broken cleaner there. There's another part for the vacuum arm. And now we're going to advance a couple of side quests. Alright, so that guy who lost his bag apparently went to the library. And this guy is concerned about his wife in her condition going out for a walk. We're gonna call the car just to save like 15 seconds of walking. And for the first time in this run, we're gonna enter South Carden. Got the beetle. That is the second item for the boys' collection. And here's that guy's wife, who needs to go to the hospital, so we'll bring her. Now we'll talk to this girl in a wheelchair, start up another quest. And then we'll go talk to our nurse, who says that the hospital needs new equipment. Yeah, thank you for the Moy Eyes, those also really help the stream out. This is the last mini-boss of the game. This is our boy, Hugh Janus. That is his canon name, well respected. He's a giant Reaverbot who essentially poops out Reaverbots. We're gonna shoot him a bunch. You can't make this fight go faster in any way that we have found, so... It's even slower in any percent, if you can believe it or not. Buster Max makes this fight pretty quick. One more cycle.
Door opening somewhere.
So this is the first of the keys for the central gate.
Got it. I better get.
So our last overall goal for the game is to get these. Swing by the library. Ask about that guy. So after he ate bread, now he has something stuck in his throat. So he needed something to drink. Go to the nearest vending machine, which is the first place I would look, I guess. And the girl says that she saw a guy who was having trouble breathing, but he didn't have a bag, so he must have dropped it somewhere. Talk to the only person in between them. And you talk to him a few times. He tells you that the guy dropped a bag. And he threw it in the trash. So now we have that bag full of cash. It was, in fact, bread, yes. So now here in the downtown subcity, we are going to farm Zenny as well. These enemies are worth a crap ton of money. And we need, I think it's 283,000 Zenny to finish the run. It's not all that much. Basically, if you full pick up all the drops from, like, 2 enemies, that's generally enough. You have to kill all these guys anyway, so... There's a guy to my left. Okay, that is my headphone cables. Please do not use. Check our money quick. Oh, we're more than good. I'll even have enough money to buy all the normal items. Special DLC content for RDM viewers. It'll take an extra 4 seconds.
Huh? That sounded like a door. That's 2.
One more key. And we will get that key after all of our side quests. Ah, wrong way. So first, we're going to run into City Hall. We're going to talk to the mayor about their outdated medical equipment. $15,000 Zenny. That's about 1/20th of what I have. Here's some money. Grab this safety helmet and this comic book, which is definitely a comic book and not anything else. That item actually has a different icon on the PlayStation NA version than on any other version of the game. There's your trivia for the day. So now we're going to buy all of our health upgrades, which are required for 100%. We're going to buy the energy canteen, but none of the upgrades for the energy canteen. They are not required. And like I said, we'll buy the rest of the normal items, because I have way more money than I need. There's your DLC content. We're going to buy all the buster parts. There we go. We've now bought all the stuff. Yeah, definitely my favorite superheroes too, but not while I was younger. They're still my favorites. Alright, so we're going to give this guy 2 stag beetles and a comic book. Which is definitely a comic book and not related to the poster behind him at all. Hey, it's the Action Man with the hologram cover. So we're going to get 4 items total. 1 for helping them rebuild, and then 3 for the stuff we brought them. The old heater is for the museum, the X-Buster is for the shining laser, the broken circuits are for the Omni Unit Omega, and the Marlwolf shell is the second part for the shield arm. Only 1 side quest left to turn in. For now, at least. We're going to do 3 others in just a moment. We got to bring that guy his bag of money. Then he gives us the arm supporter, which is the last part for the spread buster. Oh, why did I do that? I could have called the support car from inside. Still not used to that. So we're gonna give her the lipstick that we got a long time ago. Come around to the trash of the the hospital, and get the broken propeller, which is the last part for the vacuum arm. We grabbed the second part a while ago. This guy is gonna give us the sunlight. Oops. That's not what I wanted to press. Now we're gonna go visit that girl in the wheelchair, who's now walking. And she will give us the flower pearl. There is only one item left in the game, or one normal item left in the game to get, and one buster part. So, we're almost done. And one special item. We need the last key. I'm gonna let one of this lady's voice lines play out, because it's really good. So this is where we're gonna turn in all those museum items. Turns out that painter was the curator of the museum. So the old bone is now an ancient digging tool. Shoutouts to repurposing. The old heater is now a fire pot, which, sure, I guess. The old doll is now a human doll, which, again, sure, I guess. The antique bell is a Catalog's bell. We're on Catalog's Island, I guess that makes sense. The giant horn is a giant horn, which makes way too much sense. The shiny object is a crystal fossil, which is apparently so rare it is a grade 3 national treasure. The old shield is so rare that it is a grade 2 national treasure. And then this line is really good.
That's a Reaver-bought eye. Look at it. It's so beautiful the way the light goes through that translucent red. These are grade 1 national treasures. There have been lots of diggers who've disappeared in the dungeons looking for these. That would be the star attraction for any museum. Would it really be all right if I put it on display here? Thank you so much. I bet there are a lot of people who'll come to see this.
That was worth 30 seconds. Alright. So by turning all those in, oops, if I can leave, the museum is now really popular, and people come to get their rare stuff appraised. Apparently, she has a crystal figurine that's got some evil cursed power inside of it, and she just kind of gives it over to us. That happens to be the last part for the shining laser. So now we're going to talk to Roll. We're going to give her the flower. We're going to give her the music box. Which, if you go into her room in the airship, the music changes with the music box, and she puts the flower on her desk. To our last item development of the run. Thank you for the data faces. Enjoy this top quality data face. Now we're going to go to Old City to finish the game up. So this is where we fought Bruno. It's the whole reason that we even fought Bruno. The last of these sub-cities was in that, that factory where they built the robot. Not really sure how no one ever noticed it. Oh, right, because they came up from underground. Forehead. Okay. We don't need any of the money or drops from these. If we take damage, it's probably worth grabbing the health, but we shouldn't need it. It's actually gonna be a good time. These guys were in pretty good positions. The red and green dudes move around. The other ones are fixed locations. Again, we do need to blow up all these guys to advance the plot. Where are you? There he is. It's actually a really good pattern.
Huh?
Wow.
That sounded like a door opening somewhere. I better take a look around.
And this will grab us the last of the keys.
Thank you for
There.
following.
This
You
should
are
be
now officially Rollin, my
So
son,
because
with
I
the
bought
RP
those 4 extra items,
motherfucking
when I
G.
check my normal items to verify 100%, instead of there being 0 items, there will be 4. And there'll be all the stuff you can buy, so Hyper Cartridge, Chameleon Net, Defense Shield, and Shield Repair. That's what they should be. Otherwise, there should be no normal items, the special items screen should be full. There should be 1 open spot in the Buster Parts screen for the Buster Max itself, and there should be no open spots on the special weapons screen. We'll be checking that in just a moment. Just have 1 more item to grab. So we're gonna go all the way down to the center of the main gate here. I love that roll. Truly rolls deep. Go right through that guy.
Huh? What?
Skip a really long cutscene there. This treasure chest is the power stream, which is the last item in the game for us. I feel no need to spam punctuation keys, Frank. There's no animal in the world that could make me do that. Definitely not a frog. No. Normal items, 4. Special items, full, Omega, Buster Parts, 1 empty slot. Special weapons, full. We have all the stuff. This is Mega Man Juno. He is the final boss.
Ready?
Time isn't until final input, so it's actually a little bit after the final boss fight. So I will tell you when time is.
Give up. Ready?
So again, we just kind of strafe around Juno because the Buster Max is super OP. He goes into his second form, which is a giant robot. We're just gonna do the same stuff. Because his pattern changes significantly. It just turns out that this is still the best way to dodge all of his attacks. His strafing is like super broken in this game. The inputs aren't that easy though. Kind of need to stutter step your left or right inputs based on which way you're strafing. Here's his super move, which we will actually see all of because it can. Alright, he's dead. Skip some more cutscenes. When I skip the dialogue after roll, here we are done. And time.
Thank you so much.
That was a...
Take care of yourself.
What?
Bye. Take care. Goodbye.
See you later.
125.07? Yeah, we take those.
Thank you for following. You are now officially Rollin deep, my son.
And that's
with
wasting
the RP motherfucking G.
an extra, what, 45 seconds listening to the museum lady, and probably 4 seconds buying the 4 extra items. So, 124 that I wasted time on. Not bad. I'd take a 124 any day. Not bad for no reset. I don't really have much else to say about it. I mean, that was the game.
Still didn't find out anything about your mom and dad.
I do know my boy Canis has the next run coming up. And it is a pretty magical video game. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's called The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. If Canis is ready, by all means cut. But IGT shows after credits, and this game does do both timing in IGT and RTA. So,
I don't know.
it doesn't really matter to me. The credits are pretty cool, because there's a funny scene afterwards.
Okay? Whoa.
Mega Man! Roll! Look outside! The island!
I have nowhere to go for 2 minutes. Yeah, that's fine by me.
Okay.
Always down to see my IGT.
What is it? Whoa.
For the fans.
Whoa, left.
I can get behind that.
Huh? Okay. Hey, isn't that the DSR?
So before you talk to Roll there at the end, you can actually go all the way around the island, and every single person is out, and you can talk to them, except for the pirates. They're gone. You can't enter any of the ruins, but it's still pretty cool.
As you can see, the people of Catalogs have come out to send them off and wish them well.
Like, if you haven't played this game casually, you really should. Like, Legends 1 is a really, really good video game. Legends 2 is a little more personal bias, like people like it or dislike it, but I think most people consider this game to be really good.
Yeah. Okay.
It's always cool to get to run this in a no reset marathon, like, type setting, because normally when I stream this game, I make a tiny menuing mistake in the first 10 minutes and reset the game. And I spend 2 hours in the first 10 minutes of the game in a 2-hour game, so... Or I screw up minigames. Oh yeah, this run had to redo left curve course too. That's like 20 seconds. And I missed Balkan Garot quick kill. So actually, yeah, for 125 pace on that run's really good, now that I think about it. That's a lot better than this run deserves. So this used to be one of my favorite songs in the game. I used to really get into the credits jam. And then I realized that this is the song of Shadows and Darkness, when I realized this was the place where you pick up all the minigames. And it's painful. Because the minigames are the worst part of the speedrun, other than Balkan Garot quick kill. They're both pretty rough. The Japanese version of this game saves about... I want to say it's like 8 to 10 minutes, almost all in dialogue. When you talk to Tron Bonne early on in the game, when she's being barked at by the dog, you can kick the dog in that scene, and it skips one skippable cutscene and about a 25-second non-skippable cutscene. So that saves like close to 30-35 seconds on its own. And then all of the dialogue boxes being shorter, and like a lot of the mashing is removed in various dialogue, so it actually saves a ton of time playing this game on J. But I'm also not good at playing on J because I haven't done a lot of practice, so my menuing's awful. Despite it being the same inputs, I still use my eyes when I'm doing inputs in this game. Can't do it all by muscle memory yet. Animal abuse. Yeah, something like that. Please disregard the minigame where I kicked dogs for 30 seconds 4 times. Yeah. What's messed up is that they pulled that way to skip that scene on you, but the 2 other instances of kicking dogs in this game, both the minigame and the fact that the wild dogs in Old City can be kicked still exist on the U version. Just not the one that actually saves time. Reasons I don't get. I don't know. I didn't sign the game. My man Canis, what's going on?
GG, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Seemed pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm always down for a no reset 125 with a failed minigame. Like, that's all day. All day, every day I take
boss
those.
fights looked crazy good.
Other than missing Balkangrot quick kill, yeah, bosses were insane.
Hell yeah.
Like, that quick kill is... It is the single worst part of Hundo because it's not possible in any other category. And it's a 30-second time loss if you miss it, and it is wildly... Like, there's no easy, consistent setup for it that, like, anybody's really found. It's all just kinda... Just do a bunch of practice on emulator, and you might get consistent kinda.
Right.
And I've done a lot of practice in emulator, and I'm consistent enough that I'll reset runs over it when I'm going for PBs. But resetting a run after doing 5 minutes of mini games back to back,
Oh yeah. Geez.
not very fun. It makes grinding this game very unpleasant. However, the grind for a J run where I don't spend 10 extra minutes menuing is up there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 10 minutes is an exaggeration, but I feel like my current JPB is like 3 minutes better than my UPB, and it's a terrible run, just in version differences. So it's pretty big.
I mean,
There's
they did in the PlayStation version. Yeah.
PlayStation. It's because this game does dual timing and does IGT as well. Like, your RTA time is automatically going to be worse because this game has really long load times.
Yeah.
But IGT, it's very consistent between N64 and PS1. I think there's actually like less lag frames on PS1, so like it's probably at a perfect play level, PSX is faster IGT, I guess. But also imagine timing your game in IGT in 2019. Like, yeah, no thanks. It was so bad a long time ago before LCC got a hold of this game. They used to do runs on emulator because it was the fastest for IGT.
We probably just read it.
Yeah, that's pretty janky IMO. But, oh well, that's how the community wanted it, man. Let them do what they want to do. So I am third place in Hundo in this game because there are a total of 3 runners. That's great.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I know how I feel though.
Yeah, but like third is third, right? Like, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I do feel as though, like, I'm the only one that actively plays this category anymore. And with the new boss skip, if it does wind up being allowed in Hundo, like, I guess I'll get world record. But that boss skip is after Balkangrot quick kill. So it's like, now I have to reset on any failed minigame. I have to reset on failed Balkangrot quick kill and redo all the minigames. And I have to reset on a scuffed Garuda right and skip, which is only a 10-second time save, right after getting the 2 hardest parts of the game, which sounds awful.
Can't this thing go any faster?
Use crazy hair on screen here.
Yeah, Teasel's hair is insane. These 3 characters, Tron, Teasel, and Bonbon, actually have their own game, which is a prequel to this game. Tron Bon's, what's the name of it? Tron Bon's The Misadventures of Tron Bon. It's a PlayStation title. It did get a Western release. It's one of those games where, like, copies of it were $150 for the longest time because it just was really short printed in the West, and then they released it on PlayStation Network and it plummeted instantly. The same thing was actually true of the PlayStation version of Mega Man Legends. Like, it was a wildly overpriced game, and then the port, or the release on PSN just plummeted it. Yeah, this game has a sequel. I've never actually played through the sequel. It is it's a high on my backlog now. finally, after, like, years. I still have to beat Lufia 2 and, SMRPG before it, though, so.
You got 2 is hard.
Yeah.
You got puzzle your brain.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for both those games, though. Those are gonna be fun. To be continued. This game also did have one other sequel in pre-production and production. It was supposed to be for the 3DS, and it was canceled the day before the demo hit the eShop, which is really sad. So this is just under 3 minutes under my IGT PB, so not bad at all. We take those. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it over to you, Canis. I wish you